It all unfolded live on television. Picture this. Stephen A. Smith, the fiery sports commentator known for his bold opinions, stepped onto the set of The View and instantly turned up the heat to an intensity rarely seen on daytime TV. What began as a discussion on political strategy and the Democratic Party's recent missteps quickly escalated into a heated showdown. At the center of it all was Sunny Hostin, one of the show's most outspoken co-hosts, who found herself directly in Smith's line of fire. This wasn't just another spirited debate. It was a full-blown clash of viewpoints that had viewers riveted and social media in an uproar. The sparks started flying in what seemed like a routine discussion. Invited to weigh in on the state of American politics and the upcoming election, Stephen A. Smith wasted no time in delivering a scathing critique of the Democratic Party's messaging. With his signature mix of passion and precision, he argued that the party had lost touch with the very voters who once secured their victories. The Democrats didn't lose because of Donald Trump, Smith declared, his voice booming across the room. They lost because they forgot who brought them to the dance. His blunt assessment immediately struck a nerve, especially with Sunny Hostin, a vocal advocate for progressive policies. She wasn't about to let Smith's criticism go unanswered. Pushing back forcefully, she defended the party's long-standing efforts to support working families, expand social programs, and fight for equality. Let's not forget what the Democratic Party has always stood for, she shot back, her voice edged with frustration. Programs like SNAP, access to health care, and protecting marginalized communities, that's a message, and it's not something we should just dismiss. She pointed to past electoral successes, arguing that the party's policies had resonated with voters. But Smith wasn't backing down. Instead, he doubled down, highlighting what he saw as a growing disconnect between Democratic rhetoric and real-world impact. He raised concerns about the migrant crisis, citing the strain on cities and local resources, and questioned whether the party still prioritized the working class. They talk about helping families, he said, his tone sharpened. But what? About the families struggling because of policies that don't address their needs? The exchange had quickly escalated beyond a simple debate. It had become a collision of perspectives that neither side was willing to Hostin's response was swift and impassioned. She pushed back against Smith's criticism, arguing that the Democratic Party's core values had always been about uplifting those in need. She pointed to the challenges the Biden administration had inherited, from a deeply divided nation to unprecedented global crises, stressing that it was easy to critique from the sidelines. This administration has had to clean up the mess left behind while still trying to move forward, she argued, frustration evident in her voice. He's coming, and he wins. You have to find a way to beat him. But this is not the way. The tension in the room was undeniable. As the debate escalated, other co-hosts attempted to interject, but it was clear that this was a clash between two heavyweights. Smith, with his commanding presence, refused to back down. He shifted the conversation to immigration policy, bringing up Barack Obama's record on deportations, noting that Obama had removed more migrants than Trump. Then, leaning forward for emphasis, he posed a pointed question. What didn't Obama do? He let the question hang for a beat before answering himself. He didn't grandstand about it. He got the job done quietly, without turning it into a spectacle. That, Smith declared, is leadership. What we're seeing now? That's policy. Hostin, visibly emotional, defended Biden's approach, insisting that the challenges at hand required compassion and a focus on humanity. These aren't just statistics, she argued, her voice firm yet impassioned. These are families, children, real human beings. We can't reduce them to mere numbers to manage. Her words carried a weight of urgency, reinforcing her belief that policies should be driven by empathy rather than cold calculations. Hostin's frustration reached a boiling point as she pushed back against Smith's argument. She pointed to systemic issues, voter suppression, and the powerful influence of misinformation in shaping public perception. The barriers people face when trying to make their voices heard can't be ignored, she asserted. This isn't just about strategy, it's about justice. The debate raged on, neither side willing to concede. Smith, ever the provocateur, challenged both Hostin and the Democratic Party to take a hard look in the mirror. You can't win by doing the same thing over and over again, he said, his tone unwavering. You need a new strategy, a new message, and a leader who can inspire people to believe again. Right now, I don't see that happening. What made the exchange so gripping wasn't just the words being spoken, it was the raw emotion behind them. Hostin, deeply committed to her beliefs, fought to keep her composure as she defended the Democratic Party's principles. Smith, on the other hand, remained unflinching, delivering his critique with the precision of a seasoned debater. It was more than just a political clash, it was personal. A reflection of the stakes in the upcoming election and the unshakable convictions of two individuals unwilling to back down.
This is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York. You guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia.
The audience, both in the studio and online, was sharply divided. Some applauded Smith for his blunt truth-telling, while others rallied behind Hostin, praising her unwavering stance and commitment to compassion. Social media erupted with reactions, memes, and heated discussions, with viewers dissecting every word and gesture from the explosive exchange. As the debate finally wound down, the tension in the room remained thick. Smith delivered a final parting shot, his voice cutting through. The charged atmosphere? You've got to stop making excuses and start delivering results, he warned. Because if you don't, the guy in the Oval Office right now is going to steamroll you, and you won't even see it coming. Hostin, still visibly emotional, took a deep breath before responding, her voice steady and resolute. We can't give up on this fight, she said. Because this isn't just about politics, it's about people. And we owe it to them to keep pushing for a better future. It was a moment that perfectly encapsulated the intensity of modern political discourse. The clash between Stephen A. Smith and Sunny Hostin wasn't just a heated debate, it was a reflection of the larger struggles shaping the nation. A country grappling with questions of identity, leadership, and the uncertain path ahead. As the show cut to commercial, the tension in the air remained thick and unresolved. But for viewers, the conversation was far from over. The fiery exchange had ignited a storm of opinions, ensuring that the debate would rage on well beyond the studio walls. What would this mean for The View and its co-hosts? One thing was certain. This was just the beginning of a much larger conversation. But let's take a step back because this clash between Stephen A. Smith and Sunny Hostin wasn't just some one-off moment. Far from it. Explosive debates, polarizing personalities, and headline-making controversies have practically become The View's signature. The truth is, Hostin's emotional reaction to Smith's sharp critique is just the latest chapter in the White show's long, dramatic history, one filled with heated confrontations and unforgettable moments that have kept it in the spotlight for years. So buckle up, because this rabbit hole goes deep.
Now, he's just accused, and this accused in a lawsuit after some time of investigation could ultimately become a federal indictment. That's the...
First off, let's talk about The View itself. For over 2 decades, it has been the ultimate stage for fiery debates and personality clashes. What began as a platform for women to discuss hot topics has transformed into a battleground where worldviews collide, live, unscripted, and unfiltered. But here's the thing. The show thrives on this chaos. The more heated the debates, the higher the ratings. And the producers? Oh, they know exactly what they're doing. They've assembled a panel of personalities so wildly different that conflict isn't just likely, it's inevitable. It's like tossing fire and gasoline into a room and waiting for the explosion. At the center of many of these firestorms is Sunny Hostin. Known for her sharp legal mind and unwavering progressive stance, she doesn't hesitate to speak her truth, no matter how controversial. But with that boldness comes backlash. Over the years, she has found herself at the heart of some of the show's most intense moments, both on and off the set. And let's just say, her critics haven't held back.
Well, when your name ends up with 200 people in a RICO investigation, this is the biggest investigation since Giuliani shook the tree and a bunch of mobsters fell out, right? This is big stuff. And so, and thank you for bringing that video. It sure is ironic that she's up there. So, but
one of the most infamous moments in Sunny Hostin's time on The View came when she made comments that many found, to put it mildly, controversial. Remember when she referred to certain voters as uneducated? That sparked an absolute firestorm. During a discussion on Donald Trump's election success, Sunny argued that his victory could be largely attributed to a specific demographic, non-college educated white women. Whether people agreed with her or not, the backlash was swift and unforgiving. Social media exploded, with some accusing her of elitism while others defended her, calling her statement an uncomfortable truth. But that wasn't the only time Sunny stirred the pot. Far from it. Let's not forget her comments about Hispanic voters after Kamala Harris's struggles. Hostin suggested that sexism and misogyny played a significant role in why many Latino voters didn't support Harris. There's still a lot of patriarchy in our culture, she remarked, instantly igniting another wave of heated debate. Even her co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin, typically the show's diplomatic conservative, couldn't hide her frustration. And you know it's serious when people on The View start throwing their hands in the air mid-argument. But here's where things get even messier. While Sunny has been a vocal advocate for equality and justice, her critics accuse her of hypocrisy. Some argue that while she's quick to call out racism and sexism, she doesn't always extend the same level of nuance to those who don't share her political views. It's a double-edged sword, one that keeps both fans and critics glued to their screens waiting to see what she'll say next.
I have a totally different perspective on this. I don't really know what happened with this. The facts will come out. What I have a problem with is the core of who this woman is. Unlike you, I don't watch The View, bro. All I do is see clips. I know
it's just like
twice a day.
Here's all I hear from her. America's violent. America's racist. America's bad. Okay.
But wait, there's more. Sunny Hostin's controversies aren't just limited to what she says on The View. Her personal life has also been thrust into the spotlight, adding yet another layer of intrigue to her time on the show. One of the most talked about scandals involved her husband, Sunny Hostin. Rumors swirled about his alleged involvement in legal issues, and while Sunny has largely remained tight-lipped about it on air, the tabloids were relentless. For a show that prides itself on transparency and tackling tough issues, the lack of discussion around this particular topic didn't go unnoticed. Some viewers even accused Sunny of dodging accountability, which only added more fuel to the fire.
Mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right.
Now, while Sunny Hostin has only been accused in a lawsuit, ongoing investigations could potentially escalate the situation into something more serious, possibly even a federal indictment. This controversy has only added to the growing debate about the contrast between Sunny's public image and her behind-the-scenes persona. For instance, reports have surfaced about alleged tensions between Sunny and some members of The View's production staff. While these claims remain unconfirmed, whispers of diva-like behavior have occasionally made the rounds in entertainment circles. This has led some to question whether Sunny's fiery on-air passion is always as authentic as it seems, or if it's part of a carefully crafted performance designed for the cameras.